So just to start out, talk about what precedent this sets for us in U.S. history.
Well, to the extent it says that no one's above the law, I think that's a good lesson to take from it. But on the other hand, when a sitting president's Department of Justice prosecutes the leading challenger as they're coming up on an election, it feels a little bit like a tin pot dictatorship. So there are serious problems both ways there. Then I think one of the other things that's been amazing to me is to see how documents have been mishandled by Trump, but also by Biden, Obama, Clinton, Pence. I hope future leaders will be much more careful in how they deal with documents, and I think that will be one lesson for sure.
And talk about if this could impact Trump's 2024 campaign, and if so, how could we see it possibly embolden his core supporters?
Well, I think it certainly will impact the race. Trump supporters might rally around him, and critics will take this as justification for how they've felt about him all along. The question will be how people in the middle will be impacted. That's really hard to anticipate. I think the thing to remember here is that the federal prosecutors aren't part of the executive branch of our government. That means that they ultimately report up the chain to the president. We should think of them not as minions or carrying out their orders, but yeah, and in fact, I know several U.S. attorneys who are good friends, and I respect them immensely. But we do need to remember that at the end of the day, they're working for Joe Biden, and that the optics of that whole situation just aren't good.
And early polls, of course, showing former President Donald Trump as the core leader for the Republican nomination for the White House, leader over Ron DeSantis. Talk about how he can keep his momentum in the middle of all this.
Well, I think Trump will use it to his fullest advantage. I believe he's already fundraising off of it. Absent some kind of ruling that actually knocks him off of the campaign trail, I think the way he operates, he'll keep going and keep his momentum.
And just to kind of close things out, the next steps in the case, what can we expect to happen next?
Well, there's going to be a lot of legal maneuvering. There'll likely be pretrial rulings and appeals before the trial that'll take place. That's going to delay everything, likely putting any actual trial right in the heart of the campaign. Now, if you're the trial judge in that situation, I don't know if you let the trial go on. On the other hand, should the trial get delayed, should the election go ahead, and should Trump win, he probably could not be tried at that point. So it's the timing and the next steps are very interesting indeed.
All right, definitely interesting to see how it will all play out. Just crazy to think we're actually living in these times. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Professor Ron Rychlak from Ole Miss.